Today I want to talk about something that is so important if you want to create your best life, if you want to create a beautiful, abundant life with all the things that you actually desire, and if you want to do it more effortlessly than you have been previously. And that one thing that I want to talk about is authenticity. Allowing your natural expression of who you are truly at your core level, who you are here to be in this lifetime, to shine through and effortlessly create your life for you. One thing that you'll notice is that us humans, we are constantly just living in our own mind, and all of our thoughts are there to strategize and plan and manipulate certain events and people in order to protect our person, the person who we think we are. And the more you become aware of this, you'll actually notice how silly it is that the mind is always just occupied with strategies and plans to protect your worth and to enhance your worth in the world, and always trying to protect you, for survival, rather than actually going forward into the unknown and living your best life and exploring the possibility of what is possible for you. The more you live in your mind, the more you see yourself always just thinking about how things are going to be, always just trying to control things of the future within your mind now, the less you will be able to create your reality, the less you will allow this authenticity to shine through, this spontaneous, raw authenticity that you have access to right now if you just become silent and carry your life on with this sort of presence in which you are not constantly enveloped within your inner reality, just your thoughts and emotions, but rather you are fully available, you are present, you are here and now. Yes, you could be future focused, and that's great. We want to think about the things coming ahead, but we don't want to always be trying to think of how they will come about. We don't always want to be thinking about how we can get this little person to get to that destination. See, all that strategy, all that planning, all that manipulation, it's a waste of energy. Even with little examples, you'll notice how the mind is constantly trying to control your life and trying to protect your worth. For example, one of your friends texts you like 2 hours late, and now the mind is like, oh, he texted me 2 hours later, so I'm going to wait at least 30 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours to reply back to him. Because you see what the mind is trying to do there. It's trying to protect your worth. Because if you text it back right away, then it's going to make you feel lesser. Because that's all the conditioning that has been just going into our minds all our lives. And it's so sad and kind of funny that that's just the normal way to live now. Always having to protect yourself in a group of people when you're out, always having to maintain this status that I am this person, I am worthy. And if someone challenges your worth, you either get really offended and get really hard on yourself, or you launch an attack and fight back. So realize the silly nature of this kind of living. Realize how much of a waste of energy it is to worry about all that stuff all the time. You might not think that your thoughts and your, mental activity take a lot of energy from you, but they do. They take just as much energy from you as physical action does. Physical action sources a different type of energy from you, which we call your physiological energy. But your thoughts and the constant mental activity sources free energy from you, which is the energy of your intention. So you always just focusing on all those things and so many little things that your mind is constantly just strategizing for to protect you, to protect your person, your worth. All of that energy that's being wasted there and actually creating a reality that you don't want could be used in manifesting the reality that you do want. Manifesting your goals. It could be diverted. All that attention, all that energy that is unconsciously going towards those strategies could be going towards you maintaining this presence. And actually, after a while, you'll notice that you don't even have to maintain presence. It just is, because that is your natural state. This constant mental chatter is just what we have become because it's the world that we're born into and it's the way that we've known how to live. However, that way of living takes way more energy and effort to maintain. Thoughts you have to maintain. Being just is. You are with or without thoughts, but thoughts you have to add every single day, every single moment. You don't think you're doing it because it's just the way that you're used to living. However, at one point or another in our lives, we all have to come at a crossroads where we make a decision on, okay, am I willing to find a more effective way to live, to do this certain thing? Yes, let's just say you never worked a calculator in your life, and now a calculator seems really confusing, and you've just been doing all this math in your head, but you're used to it, so you're kind of comfortable with it. Now this calculator comes along and it has all these buttons and numbers, and you're kind of confused. You don't know, like how to fully use it. Let's say like a graphing calculator. I know I was very intimidated when I, in high school just encountered a graphing calculator. So yes, that initial bit of the learning curve, that time period where you have to learn how to use this new strategy might actually make your life a little more difficult. So you having to learn how to become present and stay present for more and more of your day might take more effort because it's not how you're used to living. However, over time, you will realize that it will make your life so much more easy, so much simpler. Just like that graphing calculator would. Imagine you tried to do all that math in your head, all that effort, and you wouldn't even get at your intended result. You wouldn't be able to do those calculations that you can do simply on a calculator. Just like that, you trying to create your reality and strategizing to create your reality through your little mind, through this little person that you've identified yourself to be, is you trying to, do all those calculus functions on the calculator. That's the comparison. It's near to impossible. In that state, you actually have no power to create your reality. You just think you're practicing law of attraction, you're doing all this stuff, but you're actually not creating a reality. Whereas now, when you actually start to let go of all that, wasting all that energy on your mental strategies, and take your power, assume your power and responsibility as a creator of your life, as the chooser of where your attention goes, and you extract that from all the mental activity into being in the now. The initial phase will require some effort, but over time it will become natural. It will become effortless to the point where you actually, sometimes I notice myself, in those thoughts again, and then I'm just like, what a waste of time. And then I literally just come back and just, even if I have to close my eyes for like 30 seconds, just come back into who I am, the center of awareness, and just be. And you'll automatically feel so relieved. You'll automatically feel all of the stresses just melt away. Because see, the stress only exists in those thoughts, in the worries of the future. In reality, there is no stress. In reality, there is nothing to worry about because it's always just the now. You never have to worry about a future outcome because it is always just the now. In presence, it's just the now. There's nothing else you're concerned about. When a future scenario comes that you would have otherwise worried about, and let's just say, this is something you consider to be a problem, when it arrives, you deal with it through presence. And when you deal with something through presence, you deal with it in the simplest possible manner. This natural intelligence, this authenticity of who you are, which is infinite abundance, well-being, flows through you and naturally, effortlessly solves your problems, creates your life. But it's not being done through the mind. It's not a little person in your mind doing it. It just is. It just naturally flows. That's the way that you're meant to be living your life. You see how much energy you save while living your life like this. And naturally, you don't get stressed. You don't get worried, and you're not always living in fear of the future. In that state, there is no future. In that state, you're just in the now, feeling joyful in the now. And you're not wasting so much energy on your strategies and all these manipulations that are going on in the mind. You just are. And through that naturalness, through that authenticity, you create your life. You actually create the life that you are meant to be living here in this lifetime. You create your most authentic expression rather than chasing false goals, rather than chasing things that aren't meant for you, rather than trying to constantly protect this person and have the need to prove your worth to other people. All of that is a waste of energy that continues to keep you in a cycle of unhappiness and unfulfillment. So ditch the source of that unhappiness. Let go of it. You are creating it because you are constantly feeding your mind with that energy. Come back into the now. Be more present. More and more and more. And your life will become beautiful. You have to realize, the more you feel that your life is complicated, the more you feel like creating your own reality, this whole process is complicated, the more you are complicating it. Living is not meant to be complicated. Nothing about life is complicated. Everything is very simple. Truth is simple. Complexity comes from the mind. Problems come from the mind. Nature just always uses the path of least resistance. You are nature. So come back to your original state. Be more like source. Be more like nature. Life. Abundance. Well-being. Become like it in quality, and then you will experience the reflection in your physical reality as your physical reality. When you're living in authenticity, there's no need to protect this person because you're not concerned about all those things. You just know your worth, and you are, and you continue to be. And if someone doesn't like you or someone doesn't feel like you're worthy, it doesn't even bother you because you're not concerned with all those mental strategies to protect your worth. None of that stuff matters. You just are, and you're focused on creating and living your life. And every single time you do fall into worries and thinking about how what other people are thinking about you, you just snap back into presence. And then everything is gone again. And then you just continue to be, and you live your life. So just repeat this until it becomes natural. It's not continuous for me either yet, but it's becoming more and more natural. Always resort to presence when everything else fails, when all your manifestation techniques and strategies fail, because they're not authentic. Just come back to presence. Just be. Not saying focus on what is. I'm not saying focus on your circumstances. I'm saying just be, without having to judge, label, without having to live in your mind. Just be. Extract all that energy and just come to the present moment. Just be. Be fully here. Notice your own essence. Notice the fact that you exist, that you are living, that you are alive, that you are life. And follow that feeling as it deepens. And the more time you spend with it, the more it deepens, the more it becomes your natural way of life, the way that it was meant to be. So just be. Let go of living in your mind, come into the now, and you will transform your life, every aspect of your life. You will save so much energy, and you will actually step into the shoes of the creator, and you'll become the creator of your life. You will receive more power, more intention, power to manifest your goals. And you'll be coming at it from a more original viewpoint, more authentic viewpoint, rather than your mental strategies that pretend to be effective, but they're not at all. So ditch the cycle, ditch the source that is creating the cycle of unhappiness, and come back into being. All right. If you want to learn how to accelerate your reality, accelerate the time between a desire and its manifestation, click the link in the description box below and watch my free Accelerated Reality Masterclass. Other than that, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.